Long here at Bolingbrook High School for this week's MVP segment on High School Cube News, and we're featuring a pair of twins, Jacob and Julian Huff, a linebacker and a safety, here for the Raiders, who are both headed to play their college football at Minnesota and are expected to have a pretty big season for Bolingbrook. Julian, what is the most exciting thing about your senior season coming up?
Well, one of the things that I love to express is just how connected we are as a group, especially on defense. I know the big excitement around the whole state is that we have so many Division I offers, but I think that's just an expression of how hard we work together and the connection that we have together, and that's the one thing that I think is going to be the best part of this season.
And Jacob, not only do you have a team full of Division I talent, like Julian said, you get to play with your brother. Yeah. And you know you're going to be playing with your brother at the next level at Minnesota. So what does it mean to be a senior and be able to taking the field with your actual real-life brother?
I think the best part about playing with Julian is, man, just the connection we have on the field, especially when playing the same side. It's hard to run to that side, to be honest.
Julian, is there some sort of unspoken line of communication between the two of you guys are on the field?
Some people think that there's something going on, especially when they see us play. Ever since we were little, we played little T's. Baseball was our first love, and that's where it really got acknowledged. And now we get to play football, and it's just so awesome, playing with somebody that basically is you.
All right, and we'll stay with you, Julian. What is the funniest story you've got about your brother here on the football field?
One thing I can say is that, I was getting a little upset when the first couple of games of the season I wasn't doing so good. Jacob really had the spotlight, I feel like. He was blocking punts, he was getting interceptions, and I wanted that some type of spotlight. And then I had a great game against, I believe, Stagg, was the 4 games into the season, and and he just came up to me and was like, "Great job, man. You finally got it." And that was just something that we had together, and we knew we were going to have a great season after that.
Do you have one of those that sticks out to you, Jacob?
I was most proud and excited of Julian when we played at home with Flossmoor. I saw a one-handed catch go up, and I guess it was kind of funny because the announcer, he said my name instead of his, and I thought, did I really just catch that? But nah. Yeah, I was really excited for him. It's one of the best catches I've ever seen him make. But he does it. He does that. So I mean, he's a better catcher than me. So.
What is something we don't know about the Huff Twins?
Well, Jacob's a faster player. Him being a safety, I'll give him that. But I pack more of a punch. I weigh a little bit more than him, and that's the distinction between us two. And that's what makes me a linebacker and him a safety.
How much do you guys learn from each other, playing different positions on the defense?
Actually, a lot. Whenever I have to, maybe cover 3, I have to come down, set an edge. I mean, I just mirror what my brother does. He sets a good example and leads on the field, so, it's not hard to just mirror it, so.
Yeah. Him being a safety, and one thing I can say about me being one of the smaller linebackers that are recruited in this state is that when I get to college, they're going to want me to be able to cover people, and play outside of the box a little bit and be able to have coverage skills. And one thing I can say about Jacob is that he's helped me a lot throughout that whole process.
And then, of course, we've got to ask, what are your hopes and goals for the season? We'll start with you too, Julian.
One of the big hopes of the season is, it's always in the back of my mind ever since our freshman year, witnessing what we witnessed in Aaron Bailey and Antonio Morris and how they leaded a football team and leaded the Bolingbrook Raiders to the 2011 state championship. And that's always been something in the back of our minds, and it still is. It still, has an effect on us to this day. And that's one of the big goals for this year.
I just really don't want any regrets. Leave it all on the field this year. I mean, nothing, you can't ask for anything more. I mean, when I look back on my senior year, I don't want any blemishes.
Well, it certainly looks like the Bolingbrook defense is in good hands. Once again, Jacob and Julian Huff, this week's MVP at Bolingbrook on High School Cube News. Make sure you stay tuned for next week's.